and welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a delicious and kind of cheat recipe for you. This is homemade spicy mozzarella sticks, and we're going to deep fry those, as well as a homemade ranch dip. Now, this is super easy. It's easier if you've got a deep fryer, but it's also really delicious, so let's get started with our ingredients. So we've got some mozzarella sticks, just like snacking cheese, some dried herbs, we've got some thyme, some oregano, and some dried mustard, some buttermilk, some flour, some breadcrumbs, an egg, some mayonnaise, some sour cream. Now we're using our own homemade creme fraiche, some parsley, some dill, the juice from half a lemon, a dried chili pepper, some garlic, some celery salt, and also some onion powder. So that seems like a lot of ingredients for what we're doing, but I promise you it will make sense in the end. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to burr up the dried chili pepper. And then now, I said earlier that it should be buttermilk. We're actually using kefir, so we watered it down a little bit to make it a little thinner. We actually probably used a little bit too much water there. This is for our dredge. This is for the breading on our mozzarella sticks. So we're going to add the egg to the buttermilk, or the kefir in our case. A little tiny bit of salt in there as well. And you can see it's just a little bit loose. That's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. And then we're going to get our dredge ready. So then in goes the dried mustard into the flour. And we're just going to combine those with a fork until they're just well mixed. And that mustard gives a really nice little zing to the coating. We're also going to add in our dried spices into the breadcrumbs. Now we're using panko. You can use whatever kind of breadcrumbs you like. And it helps if you give them a little bit of a sort of rub, just to sort of wake them up, wake up those aromas on your dried spices. It will make a little bit of a difference on the aroma, I promise. And we're just going to mix that into those breadcrumbs. Now, these are just individual serving snacking cheeses, mozzarella snacking cheese. So this is a perfect way to use those. We want to make this a little bit spicy, so we're going to spread out the dried chili pepper that we mixed up, that we put into our spice grinder, and we're just going to stick this to the outside of the cheese, and it will stick pretty well. These came out a little bit spicy, which was really, really nice because, I mean, they're very creamy, so a little bit of spice definitely goes a long way. After we've got the spicy pepper on the outside, we are going to just dredge that in flour. And from the flour, those are going to go into our egg wash. And they're going to get well coated in the egg wash. And from there, they're going to go direct into our breadcrumbs. Now, you don't want to overdo your flour. You want to make sure that you have enough just for what you're doing, because anything that you don't use, you're going to throw away. We like to put the breadcrumbs into a nice bowl like this so you can sort of toss it, which makes it a little bit easier at the end. If you want a deeper coating, you can also double down on the egg wash. So put it back in the egg and then back in the breadcrumbs. Now for our ranch, we're going to start with the mayonnaise. We're going to start with the celery salt, a little bit of regular salt, and the onion powder. Going to get a little bit of that lemon juice in there. Doesn't need a whole lot, just a little bit of that lemon juice. And we're going to get that mixed together. Now, if your onion powder is old and a little bit sort of caked together, this is a great opportunity to get it a little looser in the lemon juice. So you just want to let it sort of soak a little bit, and you can mix it in and get rid of any lumps that you see. Next, we're going to crush the garlic. Now, we're going to start by giving it a little chop. You can see this is a little bit older. It's got a little bit of a green in the middle. That's fine. It's okay. We're going to crush this. We're going to slice it really small first, and then we're going to add a little bit of salt and just get that nicely sort of crushed up. Now, you've seen us do this before. This is to make it into a paste. We can use this really well for marinades and that sort of thing. And you can also use a grater for this if you prefer. And we're just going to do it with a knife on our cutting board, and then into the bowl it goes with our ranch here. And then we're going to chop our herbs. So this is our dill and our parsley. And you do want to get it pretty fine because this is supposed to be a dip, right? So we want to get pretty small pieces. You want to chop it really nicely and fine. And we're going to use about half of that in the dip. The rest you can use whatever you like. Great garnish for other things. In goes the sour cream. Now, like I said, this is our own homemade creme fraiche. We've been keeping it in the fridge, so there's a little bit of the fat has kind of clumped a little bit, but that's fine. You can. One thing that we thought to do was put it in the microwave for a couple seconds just to warm it up. It came out just fine, but you can use sour cream instead, and it just comes out perfectly. As you can see, this is about the consistency we're hoping for. We're looking for a dip. This doesn't need to hold up to anything. It doesn't need to, hold its shape. We're going to use this as a dip, and that's fine. So while that's all coming together, we're going to deep fry our mozzarella sticks. This does not take very long, so we're just going to get this into the hot oil. And it doesn't take very long. You can see the outside cracked a little bit. The mozzarella we used had a fair amount of moisture in it, so it cracked the outside shell just a little bit. As I said, you could also sort of avoid that if you double down on the egg wash and the crumbs. But let them cool just a little. You don't want to burn your mouth because that melted cheese is very, very hot. And that's it. It goes amazingly well with that ranch sauce. The ranch dip actually comes out with this amazing zingy flavor. The crushed garlic and the onion powder and the lemon juice really comes together, and it is delicious. Also amazing on fried chicken if you want to try it with that. And we hope you will give it a try. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.